Thanks, Doug, for the introduction. Well, as the ICE representative for Hong Kong, it's my great privilege to take part in this Innovation Summit, which somehow kick off the bicentenary celebration for the institution. Well, I must firstly congratulate the organizing committee for choosing Transform and Protect Life as the main theme for this summit. On one hand, this echoes not merely as a presidential theme of transforming infrastructure, transforming lives, building on 200 years. On the others, it focuses our attention to the much needed resolve and efforts to make the necessary changes in equipping this city to meet the challenges for the years to come, not only 5 years. So what I would like to do in the next 15 minutes or so is to give a short presentation to you on our overarching strategies of making Hong Kong a smart, green, and resilient city, and thereby protecting its inhabitants. But before I go into the details of these strategies, I think it would be useful for me to put things into perspective. So for a number of years already, we have positioned Hong Kong as Asia's world city. And in an increasingly connected world, we find these strategies, strategic positioning more and more accurate. Well, at the regional level, Hong Kong is situated at the important gateway of the Greater Pearl River Delta area, which is a place with a combined GDP of about 1.4 trillion US dollar. Well, very soon, when the several major regional infrastructures like the Hong Kong Express Rail Link with our national high-speed railway network, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, and the Nintong-Hengyun-White boundary crossing facilities. Once all these are completed, our connectivity with our neighboring city within the Delta City will be greatly improved. On a more global context, China is advocating the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a significant initiative linking up more than 60 countries in the world. Well, Hong Kong is an important city on the 21st century maritime Silk Road. So we can foresee that this will open a lot of opportunities for Hong Kong. And apart from being connected, Hong Kong also shares many of the mega trends that the rest of the world is also undergoing. And this includes, for example, aging populations, accelerating urbanization, rapid advancements of innovation, technology, just to name a few. Many of these bring along a lot of opportunities and also challenges that Hong Kong has to overcome. And if we zoom into Hong Kong, we are confronted with a number of difficulties which are quite unique to us. And as you all know, we have to house a population of more than 7.3 million within a small territory of 1,100 square kilometers. And we don't have much resources like land, mineral, nor even potable water. And we have adopted a rather self-restrained approach in terms of development. That means only about a quarter of the territory is developed, and more than half is reserved as country park, which is protected by the law, where somehow development is rather restricted. We are on the top of the league when it comes to densely populated megacities. As a coastal city, we are also prone to the risk of climate change. We could be suffering from drought at one time, or we could have extreme rainfalls causing serious inundations and landslide at another. And there will be more and more super hurricanes visiting us because of the rising seawater temperature, and coupled with the rising sea level, that could cause more severe storm surges that may have serious impact on the safety of the city. And furthermore, there's ever-growing public aspiration for better quality of life. In terms of livability, we must admit that we are not doing that well. The average living space per person is only around 16 square meters, and this is very low by any standard for a world-class city. So there's very keen demand for better housing from the local population, especially the younger generation. And maybe For the reason that we are so compact and dense, our infrastructure has a key role to play to make sure that we can live, work, and play in the most efficient and reliable manner on a daily basis. The developed part of Hong Kong is served by highly efficient transport network, reliable utility service, and other infrastructures which adequately protects us against natural disaster. And for the 8th consecutive years, the World Economic Forum has ranked our infrastructures as number 1 in the world when it comes to comparison amongst 137 economies in the world. Well, looking to the future, our city planning will naturally have to continue riding on this successful mode of compactness, high efficiency, and reliability in terms of our infrastructure. And to meet all the challenges and opportunities that I've just outlined, we have embarked on a study for the future of Hong Kong that transcends the year 2030, and that's what we call the Hong Kong 2030 Plus strategic study. Since early last year, we have been engaging the public on the ideas coming out of this study, which will be concluded very soon. And indeed, it's a very broad study, and given the limited time available to me, it's not possible for me to cover all the study findings. So what we'll do in the next few minutes is tell you a little bit more on how this will shape our built and natural environment, as well as the infrastructure development strategy. So to create capacity for sustainable growth of our city, the Hong Kong 2030 Plus recommends a smart, green, and resilient strategy. The idea is to have this permeate all aspects of the built environment, from land use planning to transport infrastructure and buildings, so that we can achieve a more livable, more sustainable, and safer city. So let me highlight a bit more on the thinkings in the following few slides. So when we come to smart, and that's in terms of innovation, we are now picking up on momentum to catch up with other economies. You have heard what the chief executive just said. So in her policy address issued a few months ago, there's a suite of measures like doubling the gross domestic expenditures on R&D as a percent, the offering tax reductions on qualified R&D expenditure as well, boosting university research funding, et cetera, et cetera. In particular, we published the Smart City Blueprint just last month, making out the development plans in the next few years. And the vision is to build Hong Kong into a world-class smart city. There's strategies and initiatives in 6 major areas has already been covered by CE's speech just now. And as a start, the government will invest $700 million to take forward key infrastructure projects for smart city development. When in fact, we have already identified a development area, which is called Kowloon East, as a testbed for smart city application. So Kowloon East comprises 3 districts. The Kai Tak, which we used to have the old airport. After relocation of the airport, we have got an area of about 320 hectares, and that's available for new residential and commercial developments. Apart from Kai Tak, we have got 2 old industrial districts of Kwun Tong and Kowloon Bay, which is undergoing regeneration to become the second CBD of Hong Kong. So with this new and old district, Kowloon East is an ideal place for pilot testing of our smart city initiatives. So this would include sharing information on curbside activities, car park vacancies, smart lampposts, smart crowd management systems, smart meters, etc., etc. And apart from Kai Tak development, there's actually much scope for applying the smart concept to other new development areas, which I have highlighted in the slides here. But just in particular, I just want to highlight the Lantau development, which will be a major strategic growth area for our future generations. So Lantau Island is where our new airport is now, and there will be new infrastructure linking with our mainland, the bridge that I've just mentioned. It's therefore a double gateway to the Pearl River Delta as well as to the world. It's because of the airports also over there. The new development areas will be concentrated on the northern side of the island, And there will also be reclamation for building a new artificial island. That's what we call the East Lantau Metropolis. We expect the new development altogether could house a population of up to 1 million. For new development areas of such a scale, there are lots of opportunities to make it smart and green. In fact, we have issued the Sustainable Lantau Blueprint in June last year, and we have committed to make the new communities there both smart and also low carbon. Building a smart city will necessarily a smart construction. With the full support of the Construction Industry Council, we now have a Construction Innovation and Technology Application Center, or in short, the CITEC. And it's just opened in last November. The immediate task for CITEC is to explore local and overseas innovative technologies suitable for application, especially by our SMEs, who are the major stakeholders in our construction sector. We will encourage our stakeholders to use the new technologies in order to boost our productivity as well as reduce our manpower input. Right, coming to green, we recognize that we do have a key role to play in terms of environmental responsibility. But besides those measures on reducing carbon emissions, or for the new towns that I've just mentioned, for the new development areas, we're also working on improvement to our drainage facilities. We are now gradually moving away from the traditional approach of discharging surface runoff as quick as possible by means of concrete channels. So instead of drain fast, we wish to drain smart. And the meaning is we are going to adopt a blue-green infrastructure concept, which is rather similar to the idea of smart city. Blue-green infrastructures means integration of the river channels and water bodies with the natural environment and community features. So by so doing, it would achieve a more environmental friendly design by reducing surface runoff, allowing more biodiversity and better landscape design, while at the same time providing recreational facilities for the public for enjoyment. And when we are talking about climate change, it can also mean water security issues as well. As I said, as a complex city with small area, we lack water enough for our own use. So in the year 1963, we did experience a very severe drought, and we had to take a very drastic water rationing measures. At that time, we only supplied water for only 4 hours for every 4 days. We don't want to repeat that part of the history once again. So we are therefore working very hard on water demand management by enhancing public education on water conservation, promoting uses of water-saving devices and water leakage control. As for the supply side, we are also actively exploring increasing our water resources from the existing free sources, which is the local yield, imported water over the border, and seawater flushing, to a total of 6, 3 new more sources of water supplies that would include water desalination, water reclamation, as well as greywater recycling and rainwater harvesting. And in order to upgrade our livability, which the public is aspiring to, we are making our best effort to improve our open space by means of better urban design and as well as quality landscape architecture. And along this thinking, we are devising an urban forestry management strategy and also developing proper urban agricultural practices. And in parallel, we are also developing sustainable urban landscape, with more enriched vegetation diversity. So finally, I come to climate resilience. To me personally, it means about capacity building for the community and individual members of the public to cope with climate change and its potential hazardous effects and impacts. And with the combined effects of extreme weather and sea level rise, various types of natural hazards could hit Hong Kong concurrently. This could mean landslides, flooding, storm surges, tree falls happening all together. So if that happened, what will be the aftermath? Will there be major power outage because of damage to the switch gears or transformer houses? Will the water supply be cut off as a result? Will the transportation be affected as a result of the flooding problems? These secondary hazards, which may become drawn out afterwards, could be even more devastating. So the question for us is, are we prepared for that? Most importantly, is the public fully aware of the risk in terms of possible damage consequences? So what can we do in advance in order to improve the city's resilience in situations like this? So I wish to use the Tai O, which is a small village town, as an example to illustrate the importance of both hard and soft measures to respond to climate change. There were serious disruption to this little community as a result of landslides and flooding in the year 2008. And afterwards, we undertook some structural measures by constructing debris-resisting barriers to protect the connecting roads and building against landslides. And we also built a physical protection wall with demountable flood panels, and that is against storm surges. Reason why we have got these sort of demountable flood panels is because of the villagers do not like the visual intrusion. So when the flood come along, we put back these demountable flood panels. And it's necessary to have also non-structural means like social responsiveness to perceived risk and emergencies. So to prepare for these extreme events, we have devised a contingency plan for Tai O as an additional non-structural protection measures. And this contains sufficient public educations and promotion in advance of the typhoon season, and our own preparation of deploying adequate resources to do things like taking action to install the demountable flood panels when the needs arise. And we do undertake evacuation drill every year. Our infrastructures was put to test last year, when we have a total of 5 typhoons visiting us. Most critically, during the passage of Super Typhoon Hector in last August, we did encounter severe storm surge in Tai O and also in Liu Moon, Hangfa Chuen as well, with the sea level of Victoria Harbour reaching an almost historical height of 3.57 meters above the chart datum. And that's compared with the Typhoon Wanda in 1962, where the sea level rose to 3.96. Well, unlike the sheer destruction caused by Typhoon Wanda back in those years, we came through this storm without any fatalities nor any serious damage. Well, of course, the Typhoon Hector was a bit lenient to us when compared with Wanda in terms of its track, but I think our infrastructure's effectiveness did prove to help minimizing the damage. So in future, I think the key to further improve our city's resilience is communication, and that's why we have started developing a comprehensive platform for emergency management, which we call the Common Operating Picture. It's our wish that with this system, multiple hazard situations such as landslides, flooding, major road incidents, as well as weather information, temporary shelter, etc., can be shared on a common platform amongst all relevant agencies, including the law enforcing agencies and the rescue teams. Maybe eventually, members of the public could also access this problem so that they could secure relevant crisis information like means of rescues or escape. So to combat climate change on a longer-term basis, the government has established the Steering Committee on Climate Change, and that is chaired by the Chief Secretary of the Administration. And the objective is to coordinate governmental efforts in taking actions on mitigating effects of climate change, and also adapting to the inevitable change and making our community more resilient when the disasters come. So under this steering committee, we have set up the Climate Change Working Group on Infrastructure. And as a major task of this working group, we are reviewing the design standards of the infrastructures, as well as the vulnerability of existing critical infrastructures, and updating them, the standards as necessary to enhance our infrastructure resilience against extreme weather. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope within the last 10 or 15 minutes, I've left with you a clear message that is our resolve to steer for the long-term sustainability of Hong Kong. And we believe that this will benefit many future generations for which Hong Kong will be their home. The government will exert the driving force, and obviously we cannot do this on our own. We need concerted efforts from all sectors of communities. In particular, I believe the civil engineers have a major role to play. And I think this is what the whole summit is about. It's about transform and protect lives. So I hope that the civil engineers will be on the driving seat of this wagon. And with this, I wish this summit a great success, and you all have a very fruitful and enjoyable exchange today. Thank you.